Good evening. Welcome to the Templeton, Mass Economic Development and Industrial Corporation EDIC meeting tonight, Monday, July 1st, 6 p.m. May I start with a pledge of allegiance? Would we all rise, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You'll notice in your packets, I may have snuck an extra set of minutes in there.
I noticed that.
as in the duplicate of June 3rd or different date.
Different date.
Okay, gotcha. So we're looking at May 6th, 24 and June 3rd.
Yes, please.
24. And in our packet, just for everyone's edification, we also have a draft RFP for digital marketing services plus the agenda. So that's what's in our packet tonight. I'll let people review at your own leisure.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from May 6, 2024 and June 3rd, 2024.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Excuse me, can we take these separately because I was not at the last meeting?
Sure. You want to
I'd like to
do you want
abstain.
to amend?
I'll amend my motion just for May 6th.
May 6th. There's a motion for May 6th, acceptance of the minutes. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
There's seconds. Discussion? That's
Yes, yeah.
Liz, go ahead.
There's actually. I think it was this one. I may be wrong.
Take your time.
The May. Yeah, the May 6th meeting. I think that's the one where I mentioned. The green. Deerfield?
Yep.
Deerfield,
I saw that.
Deerfield plan. And I don't see it.
Thought I saw it.
Ms. Toth would like to make the point that a copy of the Deerfield Economic Development Plan was sent out to members to review individually and would like this available in the minutes.
Okay, all right, it's there.
Yep.
Does.
Keep going.
Or any question on it?
Keep going.
We've had problems at the select board meeting. Does this? Is that enough to specify it, or does it need to be someplace else? I just want to make sure we're all of them correctly.
I mean, if it occurred at the meeting and this encapsulates your point, then yes. And you would like this available in the minutes.
I think it was available on the website before the meeting.
So I just want to make sure that we're covered. For
It
things
makes reference to it.
Yeah, in reference to it.
Yep.
Right. Okay. That was.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, very good.
Thank
I'll go down the line. Steve, are you okay with May 6th, or was that the only one?
Yes, I am.
You're all set?
Yep.
Is that the one you can or can't vote on?
I can vote on
Yeah,
that.
on May 6th. And was you all set, Mike? Okay. Vicky?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'll go for a formal vote then. All those in favor, and I will go from left to right formally, yay or nay, please. Steve?
Yes,
Liz?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. I'll make it unanimous. So we'll take on, I'll look for a vote for the acceptance of the June 3rd minutes, please.
so moved.
So is there a second?
Yes. I'll second.
First, second, first and second have been made by Mike and Liz. Thank you. Any discussion, concerns, comments, edits? We got nothing. Hearing none, I'll go from right to left. We'll mix it up a bit. Yay or nay, Vicky?
Yay.
Mike?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
Steve?
Abstaining.
You're abstaining and I'll make it positive. So 4 in favor and 1 abstention. Thank you all. Very good. So that takes care of the minutes. That takes care of item number 1 after the pledge. Marketing, I usually go to Steve, but obviously we're democracy. Thanks to the Greeks. So Steve, if you want to say something about the RFP, that's also in our document.
First of all, I just want to thank Mike for doing a tremendous job on the RFP language, and my apologies to you for not getting back until
It's totally fine. We're not like a,
Today on it, I've been kind of swamped with some other things. But I did make a couple of small suggestions. If you want me to go through them, I'll be happy to.
go for it.
All right, you know, early on Montechusett region, that's just me being an editor and seeks instead of is seeking. But one of my bigger points is I would strike to data-driven and develop a data-driven plan, simply because in all my years in media, I've seen some management get very dependent on data and want to make easy decisions based on data that says something is very popular, you should do this all the time, and then ignore other things. I think we should have data help guide us, but not make the decisions for us. So, and I think any marketing development plan that comes along, or especially social media, digital marketing, will be data-driven to some extent anyways, but I just wouldn't specify it in the RFP that it has to be. So then somebody comes back and say, well, you wanted everything data-driven. And that means that because, you know, harmful pollutants are popular with, you know, or companies that want to create harmful pollutants are, you know, are attracted to your town, that means you should go to it. You know what I mean? We shouldn't just rely on data if it's not something that we want to do, for instance.
So we're talking about item 3, the hollow bullet in the middle, developing
Yeah.
digital marketing strategy. So if we say a digital marketing strategy, we would depend on data and other things. And it's up to the group if you want to say including data and other things, or just more marketing strategy. So however the group wants to
Yeah,
edit or not, that's.
and I'm not married, and I'm not really married to it either way. I would just suggest not, you know, excluding those two words. And
Data is very important. By excluding it, we get mushy, we get fluffy.
You can't ask for it. This is scope.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it needs to be there, that it is data driven. We are going to, our decisions are going to be informed by metrics and data and what we're doing. That doesn't mean, you know, if it, you know, if 50 or 60% of people say this and 40% say this, and there's verbiage sitting behind the 40%, we still may go with the 40%. I don't think that data informs the decision, it doesn't
Okay.
make the decision.
all right, as long as we can, you know, move away from it if we feel we have to.
I don't believe we're.
I think with Liz's analogy, you know, we have the data, and as you just said, but if the 40%, we don't like it, we say we feel that's the best for the immediate city. And yeah, we can make an informed decision with all our information. I guess is which is what I was saying, is that a strategy includes multiple things, data and.
Yeah.
Many other.
Okay.
Sets.
We could soften it a little bit. We could say develop a digital marketing strategy informed by the contractor's comprehensive analysis. The above referenced comprehensive analysis performed by a contractor. Something like that.
We have to give them something. Right, and I'm gonna be a little more prescriptive in this, if I can get the word out. In that, you know, this is a request for proposal. And we need to be telling them what kinds of things we expect to get. And if we don't include something in there on the day that we expect to get data, then if they don't deliver any data, they're still within the contract. Is my thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Data
that's,
is an important, no, I think with marketing, you using data, so yeah.
Should we say develop a digital marketing strategy, including data and metrics that are aligned with EDIC's economic development goal? And then it's not data driven as the priority.
That's like, because I think that's kind of what Vicky was saying, you know, you kind of moving the words around. I'm so glad we never first left law school on the board. Oh my goodness gracious, thank you very much. All people here are very good writers. I've seen it. That's wonderful. But you know, out of this little discussion, I think we've done some nice words. So, is there anything else in here? And I'm not trying to say conversations done on the data order, but if there's something else, please feel free to throw it out there.
Okay, I'll move on. On the second page,
Before we get to the
Oh,
second
so-
page. Why did we-
paperclip.
Yeah, why did we,
I,
just the rationale for it.
I don't know if we would go there. You're talking about a marketing campaign that may include social media. It may include, email newsletters. Pay-per-click is usually reserved for advertising. So if, you're running a banner ad on a website, you might buy it based on the amount of clicks. You might pay per click. So I don't know if we would fit into pay-per-click as EDIC. That may be something TCTV would do in our work. I don't know if you'd want to go there.
Can we just use search engine optimization, SEO, and delete the rest
And advertising.
and advertise? Okay. And so delete what you're saying, but I guess my real question is, are there so many elements to SEO that
Yeah.
if we don't say pay-per-click, there are other elements to SEO?
Yeah, and
It's
you
not
can-
my bag, by the way, I just,
You can buy
So we have to name them.
advertising and pay-per-click or another way.
we don't necessarily need to name it, or we do need to name it.
I don't think you need to, I don't think you need to name it.
Any thoughts either way, folks? On that? So deletion of that? Liz, you did, you brought it up.
It's okay, I'm just,
Yeah. Why we're here. Second page.
Second page at the top, email marketing and automation. I just struck and automation. Not sure,
oh no, we need the automation.
the automation for email marketing
Mm-hmm.
and what would the automation consist of?
what does that mean?
Well, okay, if you have email marketing, right, it could be a copy this and take this, put this one to this, for this one. The automation is you have a list and it populates.
Yeah, constant contact,
Oh, okay. Thank you.
WordPress.
Thank you. All right.
So automation, yes, we're not doing everything there.
Got it. You know, I'm sorry.
You're
You're working a different world than I do.
Yeah, no, I see they cross out automation in today's day and world. I'm like,
Okay.
I mean, if everyone else feels strongly the other way, okay,
Well, it makes sense.
I'm sorry.
You could put I mean, you could even at the end of it, put examples like e.g. WordPress, constant contact, they basically automate that piece for people.
When I see automation, I think of my 69 viewers. So this is a different world. I'm just saying that it's not.
The automation, anything we can do to make everyone more efficient
Mhm.
is where the automation comes into
Efficiency
play.
issue.
It's an efficiency issue.
All right.
It's, I mean, stretching it a little bit, even gets into the, AI, the
Mhm.
artificial intelligence
Okay.
things. So, and but,
It's okay. It's a democracy.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be.
No.
It's okay.
but,
Is everybody okay with keeping the words? Are we okay? We have consensus to keep?
Well, actually, another couple thoughts on
Go
that.
ahead, sure, sure.
So, automation. You don't want the content being automated necessarily. You want to be able to decide what content you're gonna have in your.
So we talk about
newsletter.
automatically,
Or are you-
distribution?
Yeah, is it gonna be automatically distributed, say on the second Thursday of every month? And then do you have the content for that?
Okay.
Do you want it automated? Those are my concerns.
I'd like to see any vendor that would respond to this RFP. I'd like to see what their thoughts are on how you could do that. They could do skimming from a website. They could do, if we had, we publish our minutes or otherwise, I'd like to hear how they would do that. That would make our
So
Our
for
lives
keeping
easier.
automation, let them propose to us how they would do it.
Yeah, and if they say, oh, automation, oh, you want to add constant contact to this? Is everyone familiar with constant contact?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to add that to it, that's gonna be an extra $65,000. Then we say.
Right.
Yeah. Then when we negotiate, we're like, no, we don't want that.
Right.
But thanks for pitching that.
I just wouldn't want to see automation of content without our approval or email newsletters going out automated
Right.
without. our
May I suggest that I think it's a given that we control the content, we have to edit, we have to, all 5 of us, 6, 7 of us, when we all have to be in agreement. So,
Mhm.
I mean, that's how I,
But creating the lists could be a part of that automation. So if you're signing up for newsletters, that, we're not gonna sit
Okay.
here and say, Johnny Bill, Johnny Bob and Diane wanna sign up for the newsletter, and then we're all like, I make a motion for Billy Bob.
right, that's the leads, isn't it? Yeah, right.
It would be automated to be able to say, you guys are, your company is managing that aspect for us.
Okay.
And, and they could come back and with saying automation, leaving it more generic.
Mhm.
They may come back with AI ideas. They may come back with other tools that we're just not familiar with that they could say, hey, you could do this, this and this, or this is what we propose you do. It could be, they could be doing, I don't know, all sorts of screen grabs from different.
Okay.
So,
As long as we can qualify it. when we're
Yeah,
planning.
absolutely. I think
Absolutely.
that- I
I mean-
think that has to be done.
And it's a request for proposal, which means that, right,
Yeah, we have every right
my-
to reject a part or whole or whatever.
my personal working definition of an RFP is, we say, this is the kind of stuff we want to go do.
Mhm.
And then they come back and go, all right, well, within this realm, this is what we suggest, and this is how much it's gonna cost.
Yes.
That's exactly.
Right, and so
That's what we're looking for.
the more of those kinds of suggestions we make, the more likely we'll get some, at least interesting conversations out of it.
Yes.
But if we don't include that, then I think we run the risk of somebody looking at it and doing a check the box, like, well, they didn't ask for that, so we're not gonna do that. They didn't ask for that,
Exactly.
so that's. That was my
That's
thought.
all things, yeah. You can
Okay.
public sector, I get it. Yeah, we're on the same.
I'm good with it then.
Okay.
And the other things, KPIs, I think that was just my error, Mike. I think you had spelled it out before. And
Can we go back up to crossing out video marketing?
oh, video marketing production. I'm glad you brought that up. I just crossed that out because you already have somebody here who can do that. You have a whole crew
somebody
in
else.
TCTV
Right.
that can do video marketing and production. So, but if you really want a digital marketer to do that kind of stuff too, put it in there.
If we're asking them to.
Remember, it gets expensive.
I don't see the need to have somebody else do it when we have a production company. Here and there. We can TCTV and monitor the TV. I mean, I think we're blessed if you don't.
Thanks.
But that, that's my one opinion. I won't fit with the board, so. Everybody okay with that deletion?
Do we want them to do nothing in that space, or do we want them to collaborate with TCTV?
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll do
Bingo.
that.
Maybe that bullet can,
Yeah.
collaborate with.
Yeah.
Whatever words are appropriate. Everybody gonna make a suggestion, Mike?
Mhm.
Yeah, Liz, like
Yep.
that, okay?
Thank you, Becky.
But, and that goes back to Liz's point also, like, well, let them say something about that, what
Yeah.
would they do to collaborate? Like, okay. KPI, you're okay, fine.
Yeah, and I just did something with, just put TCTV in
Yeah.
there. And I think that's all I got for this.
So deliverables, those were underlined just to make headers or something, right? Like, in the office, I'm not for.
Yeah, that's not me.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think so. No, that wasn't me.
I don't see any other.
Page
60.
60 does.
I'm on page 4, Mike. Okay.
Oh, okay, I'm glad you caught that because I was looking for it. And it says EDIC has memorandums of agreement with, but we don't have these agreements yet. That I know. And TCTV still needs to send out RFPs for Montechusett.tv partnerships and so forth, and maybe going to chambers and so forth with that. So I'm not sure how these both or everything works together, but maybe we get them out
I
at the
think it
same
gets
time.
really messy. Well, you just said TCTV is gonna send out and do memorandums. Right now, you're still a town entity.
We have, the select board did approve that we did approve an RFP with Wachusett Business Incubator that came back, and so we have to do an, or we don't have to, but we're due to do a memorandum of agreement or understanding with them on that.
I think it's just, it's gonna proceed slowly, because we gotta make sure that it meshes together.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And this EDIC does not control, is not the controlling body for TCTV. So that's the select board. I believe it's-
Nothing to do with us.
Right, it's got nothing to do with us, so, I love your enthusiasm, but we need to make sure we keep everything.
I agree.
To Mike's point, very clean.
And
very
I'm
crisp.
working on that. I'm, you know, in my capacity as the select board chair, I am looking at how moving forward, everything is airtight. It's what we want it to be. It's legal and everyone, you know, not, we're all moving forward together rather than moving out in front of ourselves, but that's not, that's something I'm working on.
It's not, no mushiness, no gray, no, blurred lines, it's. very
Yeah.
Crisp.
Clean.
Clean, clean,
I like
yes.
this stuff.
So we could strike
Well-
the first sentence and
Mhm.
then the second sentence edit to be the selected, I would say vendor instead of agency
I like that.
must be open to collaborating with other government and business
agree.
partners
That's exactly right.
as identified by.
I like it. And that's all I had on that one, and the other one, I just, I got grammatical. I just took it out of conditional tense.
I do have a few more on this one, if we could see on.
Oh, sure.
just a second.
Go for it.
Page 3, section 5, just noting that we should put an anticipated start date once we finally put this out. And then section 6. The first bullet, experience and expertise, says that we want someone who would demonstrate experience in developing and executing digital market campaigns for economic development organizations. I'm wondering if we'd be open to state, if they've worked with state or local governments or small businesses.
Instead of just specifying.
You can say EDOs and others as relevant or something. You can leave an open ended at the end.
Yeah.
So if they have something that's relevant, that's not an actual EDO, but it might be a. It could
Municipal
be Keys Trade
organizations.
Board or something. It's not a good example there.
Just like jazz or something in there.
Yeah, you can broaden it a little bit. There, and that's a good catch because not a lot of EDOs are hiring marketing agencies. They just hire a realtor.
Right.
Sell by real estate. So we're doing something quite unique to my knowledge.
That
What
makes
else,
a lot of
Vicky?
sense. Section 7. Just noting we could put page limits if we think we want
Oh,
to.
yeah, that's a good point.
And then under proposed digital marketing strategy and campaign plan, I might just specify a proposed comprehensive and appropriate digital marketing strategy and campaign plan.
Where are you?
This third one, right? Proposed digital. As appropriate, is that what you said? Vicky?
Proposed comprehensive, appropriate.
Where is this?
Third bullet down, on page top of page 4.
Okay.
And Nikki, could you say it one more time, please? Proposed.
Yes, so my proposed edit would be to say proposed comprehensive, appropriate, or comprehensive and appropriate digital marketing strategy and campaign.
Yeah, it's about the plan. It's basically saying this is what our plan would be to do that.
Sounds good to me.
And the definition of appropriate or something for as far as here, as opposed to having 100-person staff.
Right, exactly.
So let's see.
Scalable.
That's for a board of directors.
That's right.
Appropriate or scalable.
Yeah.
Especially since we gave them a $50,000.
Mhm.
Don't spend more than that. If they wind up saying, here, you can do this. But it'll cost you this, but we can do, you know, to stay within budget, we can scale it down. And we suggest that you take this thing out of it, this thing out of it.
Oh, okay, appropriate scale.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good.
I like the page limit idea too. I don't know, we can think about that. 25 pages.
Yeah, total,
Yeah.
25 total. I
Yeah.
think that sounds reasonable.
You say all materials,
Because we're not giving them proposal prep money.
no, God, no, you never do.
Yeah.
It's up to them, that's out of their marketing budget. If you can't say something that's 25 pages, it's also $50,000. You know, you're in the wrong business. It'll be fine. But no, proposal writer also, you try to squeeze every verb and noun you can in there, you try to attack so much stuff. Try to go crazy.
So you're saying 25 pages is
That's,
what we're gonna need.
I think that's fine.
And just a few more, I think, team qualifications and experience. I wonder if we want them to identify a specific person, or that we want to know who will be our contact person, give us that person's credentials, or if we're asking for more.
Team
Holistic.
qualification experience, no, including not limited to the team leader. And other members of the team, you know, you really, usually the language is principal in charge. And teammates, principal in charge, and colleagues, that kind of thing, it's on our, whatever makes sense. That's it.
Team leader and principal contract.
Like, when
Typically. principal in
Montechusett
charge.
gave us their proposal, it's like, I forget her first name, what, Karen? Who's Montechusett?
Karen and Tracy.
Karen, yes. Like, it's like Karen saying, I've been doing this for 50 years. da, da, da,"
Right.
You know, what, I think that's really what that point there is to say, you know, if it was a small business that came and said, you know, we got 3 people on staff and two part-timers, and this is what they do. They have degrees in marketing, or
Yeah,
you know, they've got like 20 years experience or 5 years experience. That way we look at the team to say, oh, wow, they're a startup and each of them have 2 years experience. You know, that's really what that was designed to do.
Supposed to bringing in. Dealing with the IT companies and stuff, they bring in I'll say the highly experienced individuals to do the initial presentation. And then the day the work starts, you
you
end
don't
up,
see them, right?
you don't see them
No, right.
ever again.
That's the
or-
sales department, the marketing department.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
it's all the time.
And then when they show up on the first day, you have one person who's been doing it for a couple of years and 2 people straight out of college.
Yeah.
Well,
Nothing against anybody.
No,
Everybody else is
understood,
nice.
but that's how corporate America
But-
works.
I thought we reviewed something here that was like that and included either the resume or. I just can't remember if it was here or.
And we certainly could ask for that. I guess I just want to be specific for them. What do we want? Do we want them to just identify? It sounds like we want them to provide the team qualifications and experience for those individuals who will work on this
Yes.
and what their roles will be.
And I would really strongly use the words principal in charge, comma, team leader, comma, and others. That's very broad, and then there is a slick guy at the top, because I've done those interviews too with government, in the government side. Remember going to air, we did an interview, and I brought myself, the planners, the GIS guy, and the lawyer. We did a good job, but we had the whole team present for the interview, so they want to see everybody, and I think that's important.
More references, like you can make that optional. May not.
Doing, if we're doing references, we wanna.
I'd say provide a minimum of 3 references. Period.
Do we want reference contact information or
Yes.
do we want letters?
What contact information we want to reach out. Now, we know what happens with references, but the bottom line is it's always a good idea to follow this, so.
You want to specify 3?
I would say no less than 3 references. Everybody can give you 3 references these days. That's pretty. Just like a job employee situations. It's the same thing for corporate.
That sounds great. And do we want the ability to do interviews?
You know, you're literally reading my mind. Do we reserve the right to interview the final 3 or some of the best, those 3 best or something like that? That sentence should be in there somewhere.
I don't know that we do. I think we have the right, we reserve the right to ask for additional information, but I think we should add interviews.
Yeah. Yeah, paragraph. Because it puts them on notice that they may have to. Pull together
For the
these
references?
people.
No,
No, for the interview.
so I guess it would be under this final section,
Oh,
Yeah,
something like the committee may or reserves the right to. We can pull the language from the OSD Best Values Handbook.
okay.
we'll see the word reject. Right, is there a phrase in here that we reserve? Oh, yes, it's on number 5. I want to take back what I said. Thank you.
And then the only other thing I wanted to note was that there is a statewide for marketing services.
Mike, do you know what Templeton puts here? It should be Comcast, now it's Comcast. It's
Compromise.
Combis today. They were just still changing the names like it's. I could keep up.
Yeah.
But you guys advertising Combis and it's service.
I believe so. I don't know how,
That's an Adam's office.
right.
Okay, very
Yeah, we gotta check and see
Yeah.
what their process is for going through that, because I think it's been, I don't think it's been utilized as much as it could.
Combis and goods and services. You
Yeah.
do both, you're fine. It's just the bottom line.
It's in our best interest to do that in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what everybody's reading every day.
Yeah.
Are those two, put them in both. They're both free, I believe.
Yeah, and this statewide contract has the benefit of those vendors have already been vetted by OSD.
Yep. OSD is what? Contract of who?
Operational Services Division.
The under DOR or something?
They are.
I've heard the acronym once in my life.
Oh,
I don't deal with them. Okay, I wasn't a pop quiz, I'm sorry.
I know who they're under.
Okay, never mind. No, I'll Google it. Are we okay with?
Executive branch.
Executive branch. Okay, that makes sense. Are we okay with the RFP as edited? Yeah,
Executive Office for Administration and Finance.
okay.
So we need a motion.
I think we should. I think we should solidify it. If you'd like to make a motion in a second, then we'll put it to final discussion. If there's anything else, we'll do it properly. Yes.
Okay, so I move that we accept the draft with the discussed edits. For the request for proposal for the digital marketing services.
Is there
Seconded.
any discussion on the motion made by Liz and seconded by Vicky?
What are we doing with it once we accept the
That's a very good. What's the next step?
edits? I think we should,
Someone's gonna make the edits.
Right, and then the next step is to get it advertised so that we talk to the town administrator's office every week. It's the only thing I do in town, folks. I need some help. That's all.
Still need a start date.
Yes, yeah, we have to come up with a schedule.
And I mean, I can put some of these changes in. I don't feel qualified to put the last change in that Vicky recommended, but
Do you
maybe.
two want to train?
Yeah, I mean, because I have the digital files now
Is that
with the
why
track
we need
changes and I can do that and send it to you for
Sounds
your.
acceptable.
For version control. That's not
Yeah.
right.
We're good?
Is that good?
Okay,
I like, I mean, the motion for adding the edits, but I'd like to see it.
Come back here.
come back to all 5 again one more time?
Absolutely.
I think that's a good
I-
idea.
Because I'm
That's fine.
whether we need to park it until we find out how, I mean, we got a major effort going on out there with NPRC. PRC, yeah.
That's a good overview.
And I just don't want to lose focus that that's going on. And that's like the biggest thing that we have.
Yes, now enter Lori Wida, who last week or the week before told me, Glenn, you're gonna get stuff under contract by
December 31st, 2024.
of this year. So,
That's where our focus should be.
yeah. And I don't see this as a heavy lift, honestly. I mean, I've done so many RFPs on both sides all the time. It's just, okay, let's. And I don't mind taking the lead as far as taking the chairman's hat and going to talk to Adam, thank you. And just, when you've all seen it. And then just walking across the hall and say, okay, I think we're good. Let's come up with a schedule. And then I would ask Lori at that time probably to poll all of you individually and say, okay, did you have any final? Do we need to discuss it at the September meeting if we needed to as a backup? And then like right away, then just get it advertised. Advertising. And we should advertise this stuff for about 30 days, generally speaking, anyway.
We don't have one in August? We don't need it in August?
I didn't have one.
No, I think September.
I can look at dates for you if you want.
Just to move this, so that way we're not waiting 2 months.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, even if it's a short one.
Even if we did it all online, it's like a 5-minute, are we okey dokey with the RFP?
Yeah.
We'll
That-
do
that
something
way-
like that. Would that be kind of cool?
Yeah.
Yeah? Kinda
That would
cool?
keep
All right.
us, that would
All right.
keep us all discussions.
Oh, what board on the tip?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so do you want to poll us for a date in August later?
Yep.
Wonderful. I'll look at that next week. Because I'm not looking at it this week, Laura. All right, let's do that. Let's pick a date in August. We'll revisit that. And in the meantime, we can draft a schedule. You know, it's just blow out of my head. So if you want help with that, I mean, we should talk to Adam probably next week. You and I, Steve, if that's okay with the board. But we'll just work on schedule stuff related to this and we'll come up with something. Is that okay?
Is he on vacation?
Oh,
next
yeah,
week?
well, whenever he's available.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, whenever he's available. I mean,
I don't know. I'm just asking, because lots of
it's a
people
good
take
point. It's
vacation.
a good point. Before the August date, before we meet, how about that?
Okay.
Deal? All right, I think we have a plan. Lloyd, did you write down the plan?
It's recorded.
Yes, I've written down points, but I think we probably need Liz to amend her motion to include that you're gonna come back to another
At the
meeting.
August meeting, ideally.
And that we come back at the August meeting for a final vote before we put it up there.
Is there a friendly amendment second on that first?
Let's see.
Oh, I need a
You wanna-
second.
Seconded.
You want to second that friendly amendment? Okay, very good. Any other discussion on this? one? Silencio. Very good. I'll look for yeas, nays, ayes, and noes. Whatever you want to do, Vicky,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Chair votes aye. So that's good. So we're all set with that. Anything under marketing? Anything else under marketing? Pardon me.
There was the other letter.
Oh, there's a
for,
letter?
The partnerships, and I just made some kind of grammatical things. And it's just my, my preference as a nitty-picky editor to,
Mhm.
I took things out of the conditional tense and the bullet points and just used verbs.
Mhm.
I thought right to the word. So that's personal choice and I don't care either way.
You want us to take this back and review it at home and then come back to this in August? 'Cause I just
I
see,
think we should all.
or do it tonight. What do we want to do, folks?
I think we should take it home and review it and then come
like
back
that.
with any ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So this will be, I'm gonna write on this to take it home. This will be for the August meeting. That's my homework. Anything else under marketing from any of the members? Vicky, Mike?
No.
No, Liz?
I'm good.
Good. So marketing's good. Thank you. We can move on. Seeking attorney, I found my RFP or RFQ. Basically, under 50,000 and 30B, if I remember correctly, we're looking for quotes. I have the quote, I have it drafted. I want to go back to work and I can go back to looking at flat screens again. Yes, next week, but by the August meeting. So Lori, we want to put the attorney, our quotes, request for quotes out also. And that is as simple as, I had to do it a few years ago when our attorney became a judge. So he resigned and we just basically sent out letters to 10 or 20 attorneys in the greater North County area.
Okay.
And it's literally, what's your hourly rate? What's your resume? And you have experience in this area. It was literally just a letter we sent out. Obviously, I will stick my nose back in 30B and make sure it's right. Then I'll bring it to, my homework would be to come to the August meeting with that final short brief RFQ.
Okay.
Okay, and then just move that forward. Because what I'm getting down to is it's tied to what Laurie already asked her to say, item number 5, all contractual services. We have a deadline to get everything under contract by 12/31/24. And this generally, folks, is light lifting, getting an accountant, getting an attorney, getting the marketing entity on board and so on and so forth. I'm skipping around a little bit and I can go back to 3, 4, and 5. I'm just taking them as a group. Seeking accountant, I don't see the need right now. But we may, I'm just putting it out there where we don't have the 200,000 because the town has it and they're managing on our behalf. And that's fine. That's cool. That's awesome. There will come a day when working off your own receipts, you'll need an accountant. But right now, I can't really justify an accountant out of the $200,000 budget given to the town of Templeton for economic development purposes, because the town has an accountant. You have an auditor. You already get audited. So I think it would be a duplication of effort. In the future, someday, when the EDIC does whatever it does, make investments, buy, sells land, open up industrial, whatever it does, and you have revenue, then you're gonna need your own accountant because we are separate. So that's just an opinion of mine. You guys can take it forward, if I'm here, if I'm not, I'm just saying, but I don't think we need one now. I think we need to move forward on the marketing consultant. We need to move forward, get an attorney. The attorneys are very, very helpful in situations like this. We could have used one the last few months, but the bottom line is we can always use an attorney for something sitting over there saying, you go figure this out. And that's why we have the budget the way we do. We did program money for the attorney also. If we feel we don't need money for the accountant, and if we did put the money in the budget for the accountant, we can always ask the state, is it A&F or somebody, if we can just move that accountant money somewhere else later on. So we might need to make a formal request. If we do, I'll talk to Lori about maybe sending an email to the appropriate party at the state, come back here, ideally for the August meeting, Lori. And I would say, okay, here's the budget again. Here's a hard copy of what we did. To give them a budget, and yep, they said they just need an email for that, or we need a formal vote document, whatever it is. They'll come back with an answer about what we have to do. So that's all I'm suggesting right now for the accountant is just not do it, but we might have to shift the money. Vicky.
Can I ask, did something trigger this thought, or are you thinking in terms of where our plan is hopefully coming soon? We are thinking about the big pictures, way we're gonna spend our money, and in the administrative costs bucket, what do we need to consider?
Yeah, so about a year ago, when Lori and I had to do a budget for the 200,000 to get it in, so we could actually get a hold, get our fishing hooks into the money from the state, essentially. I said, well, I think we're gonna need an accountant, I think an attorney, you need marketing, and we need a consultant there. And it came with a lot of things that I've learned with other EDICs and redevelopment authorities have done in Commonwealth. I think I put a civil engineer in there. We might be going out to bid for a civil engineer pretty soon, just to look at properties. I have to look at the budget back at the August meeting and say, what did I say a year ago? But I do remember that, it just kind of hit me about a month ago, mowing the lawn, Vicky. I think I was thinking, we don't need an accountant now. The town has one, they're in control of the funds. Oh, okay, well, that would be a waste of money. We don't have transactions that need to be accounted for. Therefore, the town account's going to do it. So that was the epiphany I had somewhere in the last few weeks. Okay. So spend the money wisely, spend it where it really should be, and an engineering firm makes a lot more sense to get someone to look at properties now than an accountant ever would. For this 2-year grant term, or 3-year, whatever it is, I forgot. What do we have? Until June 26th, I think. June 2026 on the term of the grant. Is it 2 years?
To spend it?
And I apologize for quizzing you. I don't have it in front of me, but we'll know by August. We'll bring it back in. Yeah, I know it's a 2026 date. I just don't remember the date.
Neither do I.
Okay, we'll bring it back in. All right, we'll bring the budget with that 2 or 3 page form that the state approved.
Yeah.
I call it the contract.
I can do that.
Yeah, okay, well, let me make that a handout. And the RP for marketing will be on the map, on the agenda. The letter for the Gardner Realtors, and Steve has his hand up. Yes, sir.
Go back. Go on. It'll come back to me.
Okay. I know it will. Yes, Liz.
Do we have the agreement between the town of Templeton and the EDIC?
No, we need that too. We need that too. We just need a simple 1 or 2 page on.
Oh, I know what it was.
Okay, we're right back to you.
Okay.
Laura, could you add that for the August meeting also? Let me see if I even started to draft that. I mean, we had discussed that 6 months ago, and
Like services, like municipal
it's
services.
an interlocal agreement.
Yeah.
The town of Templeton represented by the board of selectmen and the EDAC represented by us.
Mm-hmm.
That just basically says, you're gonna manage the funds, we're gonna recommend some expenditures, we're all gonna work on it.
Right, and that this is, yeah, everybody is nodding their head, yes.
I mean, yeah, we need an interlocal agreement. That would.
I'm gonna
be
put
very
together a
good.
draft.
You're gonna,
Yeah,
you're saying, Mike, I missed it, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put together a
You're
draft.
gonna draft it? Thank you, sir. Okay,
Or, yeah,
and I'll do the RFP stuff. Thank you. Steve, you remember what you wanted to say?
Yes.
Sir.
If we think we have until 2026 to spend the money.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you have to get contracts done by
Yes,
December 31st?
you have to get the contracts in order to be able to get the money.
Right, so we've got to be.
All the contracts for anything that we spent
That's why we're.
in that $200,000
I'd
grant.
like to have your contracts come up to $200,000.
So does it need, is it that we need to have spent the money by the state, or just allocated through our contracts?
Yeah,
Okay.
committed is their
Awesome.
favorite word, committed contracted.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm glad I clarified that.
Yeah, and then when Lori put it back on my radar screen a week or a month ago, it's like, oh, let's put this stuff back on the agenda, let's get these things out. RFP, RFQ, under contract and move on, so at least we have those contracts solid.
The plan is the backbone. Without the plan,
Oh, yeah,
We're not.
absolutely, absolutely, so the plan can go in concurrently while you RFQ, get the consultants on board. So you can have them do stuff while you do the plan, and then you've got some stuff coming together. I mean, in the perfect world,
we voted,
yeah,
we voted to accept that in May.
Yeah.
Contingent on the article and the article passed,
Yes.
so
So we should be doing something with that.
I agree.
mhm.
I don't know if we've heard back anything from the Attorney General's office on annual town meeting yet,
Okay,
but I can look, I can find out.
Somebody ask. If we have money left over from that 200,000 that
Mhm.
wasn't committed, then we can't spend it.
Right. So that's why we want to get everything we can think of contracted by New Year's Eve. And the more we do in June, July, and August, the better on New Year's Eve will.
Yeah, the less you want to do on New Year's Eve.
And trust me, I get, in my day job, we get a lot of government funds and I loathe running money back.
No, yeah, we're not gonna
Yes.
come back.
Right.
Do we have an agreement drafted with MRPC already, or do we just have
their
their
proposal.
proposal? That's all,
Yeah,
that's what we have.
That's all I
Yeah,
remember seeing.
no, the day job, and I will say administratively, we have contracts that we can provide. You'll get that from Tracy or Karen.
Okay,
We
great.
don't have it yet. Maybe they'll wait for the town meeting vote to happen to make sure things get tied up here. I don't know. But I don't talk to them about it because I don't want to get involved with it at all.
Do we have a point person? Are you our point person, Lori, with,
It can be.
is it possible to ask them to send examples? Because we might as well get started on
Send a
that.
contract for agreement.
And I'm happy to take a look and have something for us to look at for next month.
Two things I want to say for the public record, so. If there's any discussion again on the contract with MRPC, I'll step out of the room. I'm going to file a disclosure of potential conflict with the town clerk. And also my board of directors, the next meeting. In early August, and I left the room the other day, I'm just gonna keep doing that. Second thing I want to say is that I resigned from the Washington Business Incubator on May 31st, no longer involved with that organization. I no longer oversee the executive director with the other people, so. Okay, so I just want to make sure that's clear and above board, okay? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next scheduled meeting, September 9th, but for possibly an August meeting, and Lori's gonna poll us, okay? And there's nothing else on this. Anybody need to talk about anything that's on the agenda? If not, then someone can make a motion for adjournment.
Actually, you want to go over the August meeting? August 12th is available, Monday.
Oh, I want to turn the other town off?
The 5th is ag, the 12th, like Steve said, is open, 19th conservation, and the 26th Board of Health.
If you want the 5th for agriculture, if you want the 5th before agriculture, you can meet at 4 or 5. If it's a one issue meeting, but TCTV just
Oh,
needs a
wait,
half
okay.
hour.
I'm not here, but
Okay.
you don't need me to do.
And the 12th is open.
We always said you are. Are you here the 12th?
12th is fine.
Are we landing on the 12th? Is that where we're here?
That was fine, that was open for TCTV,
12th's okay?
yeah.
12th's okay? No, not for you.
Everybody else can meet, yeah, me, unless it's a really short meeting.
Like 5 minutes to review the RFP.
Right.
Well, let's keep
Because-
polling. Is the 12th
because-
work for Mike and does the 12th?
No,
work
the
for-
only reason being it's my anniversary,
Okay,
so.
nice. Okay.
It would work for
Even
me.
if you hopped
but-
on, like if you wanted to hop on Zoom or something.
Want to zoom you in at 6? Unless he's taking you out of the country and we don't know about it. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know about it either, I have a good passport. so.
And if goodness forbid, can't, we have a quorum
You
with
still have a
4.
quorum, that's what I'm saying, so
Yes,
have it the 12th, I will
okay,
see what our plans are, we haven't made plans yet. Well,
okay. So I'm gonna put it in my calendar for 6 p.m. It'll be You can zoom in if you need to, right, if you're available. But if not, we have 4 for that, right? Okay. August 12th. What's that?
August 12th at 6?
August 12th at 6 P.M. That's right. And that's basically our PRQs. All right, anything else that's on the agenda? Please continue.
Put on the August agenda, adding the public comment
Yes,
and adding the board member comments at the end.
yes,
Just those 2 lines.
yeah. Can we make
So-
sure we always have, so everything, so stuff that always should be on there is pledge of allegiance, review minutes, public comment, board member comments. And we should try to identify subject matter for board member comments as much as humanly possible. And then I've asked Laura to keep marketing on because we're doing a lot. I think the marketing is going to stay on there. And then I think contractual services, obtaining consultants for services. I think those 2 bullet items will be there for a little while until we get through this push. And let's add also economic development planning project. Because, you know, we can always, then you can say, okay, what's the status of the contract? And then you go wrong, you guys figure it out. And then when the contract's signed, and it's not so. How's that sound? Okay with everybody? I'm seeing some nods. Is anybody else? Okay, anything else on the agenda? I'll go, Paul. Vicky, you good?
Good, thank
Mike?
you.
I'm good.
Liz?
Good.
Steve?
Good.
Good. Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
We have a tie? Okay, so. Steve and Mike, first and second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Raise your hand.